Sports Center all night.
A new generation of superstars joins the association.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select
another blockbuster trade in the NBA.
Washington Wizards have agreed to send Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors for Jordan Poole and 2 future draft picks, a first-round pick, a second-round pick.
MLB teams look to keep their winning streaks going.
Ozuna meets that with extreme brutality, deep to left field, and the Braves tack on 2 more. A home run by Ozuna.
Plus a winner-take-all in Omaha with a spot in the CWS Finals on the line.
Here it is, the push. It is fielded. Here's the play at home. The tag is made.
This is Sports Center all night.
Don't you ever disrespect Pat Mahomes now. If you want to talk your just better back it up.
Here's Jim Basquill.
CP3 is joining the Dubs in the future of the NBA. Find their next pro teams. Welcome to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Plenty ahead in the show, which includes a terrific game between LSU and Wake Forest for a spot in the title round in Omaha. But we begin with the NBA draft. The San Antonio Spurs hit it big with the number 1 overall pick. Bigs in the past. David Robinson, Tim Duncan come to mind. Well, their big of the future hails from France, and he was second to none on Thursday night.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
Victor Wembanyama, he was the number 1 overall pick, headed to San Antonio. This was expected. He was a 19-year-old from France. That's been a foregone conclusion for months, headed to the Spurs, listed as 7'4", 8-foot wingspan, dominated the French league in his final season there, leading all players in scoring, rebounding, and block shots. Marks the 3rd time in San Antonio's 51-year history the Spurs have held the number 1 pick. Robinson, 87. Duncan, 97. And now here in 2023, it's Victor Wembanyama. He's going to the Spurs and had this reaction.
Victor Wembanyama joining us right now, headed to San Antonio. I imagine there wasn't a lot of curiosity about where you were going, but do you just feel a relief that this process, this part of this whole thing is now over with, and you can just go forward now as a Spur officially and focus on your NBA career?
Yeah, it wasn't much of suspense, but still, the emotion is there, after I was called in front of everyone, that music before he says my name and stuff, that was so special. I'm loving the moment.
You should love the moment. You got somebody who played in San Antonio for a number of years, and I was lucky enough to coach there for 5 years when TP first got started. Go back a month ago when it was announced, and you found out that night. Your parents have done a great job raising you, and you've done an unbelievable job. You always say the right thing, but really, was San Antonio the one you were hoping for all along?
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
Did you watch Tony growing up, or how far back do you go watching the Spurs?
Growing up, of course I watched Tony, yeah, with the Spurs and with the national team too. Yeah, I mean, every French basketball player around my age, he's watched Tony growing up.
Well, Victor, as Greg Popovich's first ever draft pick, I want to welcome you to the San Antonio Spurs family, first and foremost.
Thanks, man.
But I had an opportunity to call your game October the 4th when it's your first game on U.S. mainland.
Okay.
And you played great in that game. But you were more satisfied with your second game where you won. You made it very clear you're all about winning. How soon can you win in San Antonio?
Unfortunately, I think I'm not experienced enough to be able to answer this question, but this is going to be my goal in the first year, learn as much as possible, because the ring, it's always what I'm going to be winning. So as soon as possible.
And they won a few in San Antonio. He's 7'4", 8-foot wingspan, considered by many the next generational talent, a player who can defend, play above the rim, I should say, fluid, step-back threes. With a guy that's 7'4", could do it off one leg. They're in the French A-League. Regular season average over 20 points and 10 boards a game with 3 blocks, leading the league in all 3 categories. PJ Carlissimo, Andrea Carter on what the Spurs are getting.
He's going to be one of the best shot blockers in the league. And it's not just because he's so tall and so athletic. He has a knack for it. To me, you've never been able – you can work with guys a little bit, but you can't teach shot blocking. There's guys that are very good at that. They anticipate, they see it, not just their own guy, more so off the ball. He's incredible. You watch him block shots. I mean, he could block 3 shots or more a game. That alone makes him a really, really major contributor. You know, everybody always says you got to have one NBA skill. This kid's got like 4 or 5, but the two they keep talking about all the time, the shot blocking and the stroke. So he's going to be unbelievable.
With his skill set, he could be better than Jokic, in my opinion. The things that we're seeing from Jokic in terms of facilitating and passing and distributing the basketball and scoring the basketball and rebounding the basketball, there is all of that, plus the moves that Victor Wembanyama can make like a true guard. Pull-up jump shots off the dribble, the pitch and catch in transition into a one-dribble pull-up. Those type of things and the fluidity that Victor Wembanyama can move with, I think we'll see overall dominance from him, similar to Jokic. We'll see that same thing, but it'll look unlike anything that we've seen before because of Victor's fluidity, because of his athleticism, and because of his size.
Man, consider he goes to a Spurs team that's gone 32-39, 33-39, 34-48, and then last season 22-60. They could use his help. Next up, the Hornets at 2. Is it Scoot or Miller time?
With the second pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller from the University of Alabama.
There you have it, all smoke and mirrors with the rumors on the draft day. Miller, the Hornets pick, 6'9" playmaker, SEC Freshman of the Year at Alabama, averaged just under 19 points, better than 8 rebounds and 2 gives a game, 38% from beyond the arc, won the SEC Tournament MVP, was named second-team All-American. Corey Alexander on this choice.
You can play Brandon Miller in a number of spots. Remember, you could possibly have Miles Bridges back into your roster this season. So now you're thinking about LaMelo Ball at the point. You can play Brandon Miller as your shooting guard, Miles Bridges and P.J. Washington. That 4 across the board, you've got long talent that can switch defensively, and that's a very good offensive unit. Considering who you throw in there at the center position, can they defend the rim? Brandon Miller's that good to where he can be your secondary playmaker alongside LaMelo Ball, but also he could end up being their leading scorer early in his career.
With the third pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Scoot Henderson from Marietta, Georgia, in the NBA G League's Team Ignite.
Yeah, Scoot Henderson, he's the 3rd overall pick. He is a point guard, a team that's been led by Dame over the years. Does Lillard stay with the Blazers, or might he be dealt? Scoot on going to Portland.
He's got his headset is on. Okay, Scoot Henderson joins us right now, the number 3 pick in the draft, Portland Trailblazers. You look pretty happy about this. You happy about the destination, or just happy that I'm in, it's done?
No, I'm happy about both, man. I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm blessed to go that high. And I already been to Portland, and I know the city right now, so I'm just blessed to get back to the fans.
Scoot, first and foremost, congratulations. We spent a lot of time together this year, my guy. I'm happy for you, and I know that Portland is happy to have you in the fold. Now, one of the things you've heard all about the trade rumors, you've heard about everything going on, and there's a lot of interest in you and the other 29 teams. How do you prepare yourself for that, knowing that, of course, right now you're a Portland Trailblazer, but in this business of the NBA, you could find yourself somewhere else very soon?
Honestly, I just continue to work. I just put my head down and work and control what I can. And that's how hard I work, and that's me every day getting better with my body and my mind. So that's how I'm going about it.
That's a good way to look at it right there. Up next, the Thompson twins with the next 2 picks.
With the 4th pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets select Amen Thompson from Oakland, California, an overtime elite. With the 5th pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Pistons select Asar Thompson from Oakland, California, an overtime elite.
It is one of those moments where you could see it and be it, but when you have a vision board as 9-year-olds to play in the NBA and then to realize that 10 years later, what's your reaction? And by the way, we got The only way we're going to separate things, Amen is wearing the Rockets hat, right? Asar is wearing the Pistons hat. So we'll start here with Asar. What was it like to see your brother drafted and then you follow up 5th overall?
It was crazy to see him drafted. When the team called him, I was like, I seen him smiling. I was like, oh, this is real. My heart was beating more for him. When it was my turn, I didn't know where I was going to go, like until Adam Silver said it, until I saw the cameras come to the table. But it was more exciting for him just because I had never seen it before. When it came to me, I was like, I've done this before. I know it's going to happen now.
How did you feel about seeing your brother drafted 5th overall?
It was cool. Like he said, I was more excited for him than I was myself, but I was going crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was down at the interview station. It's like they knew. They were like waiting on him.
Right.
So yeah.
How cool is that? Two brothers go back to back, top 5 picks in the draft. Those parents have to be awfully proud. Amen going to the Rockets. Asar to the Pistons. Much more on the NBA draft later in the show as we explore surprises in the first round and keep up with all the picks. I'll remind you, rounds 1 and 2 on ESPN.com. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Also from the association, Chris Paul's pursuit of a championship will take him to the Bay and the Golden State Warriors. They've agreed to a trade that will send Jordan Poole to the Wizards. Several picks, a 1 and a 2. Will go to D.C. in this deal. Bobby Marks on how CP3 fits in Golden State.
I thought he played extremely well in the Clippers series. It's going to be interesting what they roll out there. You know, certainly Chris, Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and then Draymond at the 5. I think it gives Steve Kerr a lot of different functionality as far as different lineups that he can roll out. I think he'll fit. You can certainly put him at the point and, you know, have Curry play off the ball. As you guys know, it's just a matter of just making it till mid-April in one piece.
He was on Kenny and Carlin, as was Mark J. Spears on motivations for Paul, now in a role with the Warriors.
Chris wants a ring, man, and he wants to put himself in the best position to win. And then if you think of it from a minute standpoint, he doesn't have to play 40 minutes, 35 minutes, even 30 minutes there. He could be, I think his sweet spot's probably like 25 to 30. Even as a small lineup, that's a powerful lineup, a scary lineup. And, yeah, I don't expect Chris Paul to come off the bench.
Yeah, and the other way, it's Poole going to the Wiz. Though with Draymond Green on that team, Kendrick Perkins says that had to happen.
We saw the writing on the wall. We saw at times when Steph Curry was frustrated with him when he was taking shots that the Golden State Warriors felt like should have been in Steph's hands. We seen and we heard Draymond Green talk about how that incident basically broke up their locker room and they wasn't going to win the championship. We saw the drop-off. And the great Kevin Garnett used to always say, watch the young players after they get their money, and that's how you can see the real them. Since Jordan Poole got the bag, he's been a completely different player. I think this is a right move for the Warriors, and I would love to see Chris Paul alongside Steph Curry.
Yeah, it was just one season, though, by the way. Just one season. And he did get knocked out in the preseason by Draymond. Maybe a new team and a new site is good for him. Much more NBA coverage on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max this morning. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Jay Williams, Max Kellerman, joined by Bobby Marks at 7:15 Eastern. Seth Greenberg, ESPN basketball analyst at 9 Eastern. And Sean Elliott, former NBA champion and Spurs great. He's a San Antonio Spurs TV analyst. He'll talk about Wemby and San Antonio at 9:30 Eastern. Coming up, the finals for the College World Series is set as Wake and LSU ends in a walk-off, and we'll keep it on the diamond with San Fran's 10-game winning streak halted in a 10-0 game. That's on deck. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, is it time for your favorite star to request a trade? I'll tell you which players should ask for a trade if they really want to win a title. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
There's a birthday right around the corner, and you have no idea what to get. Might we suggest the one thing people simply can't get enough of? A homemade beef dinner. It could be a juicy ribeye, a hearty beef stew, braised short ribs, or your mom's meatloaf. Nothing says I love you like reminding someone they love beef. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
Make that switch to City Kia.
Get ready for the main event. Thank you for making City Kia the #1 Kia dealer in all of Central Florida. 2 years in a row. Some dealers claim to give you 10, 15, 20,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Does that seem real to you? We didn't think so. City Kia will beat any valid offer in the USA on an in-stock new Kia or pay you $500. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. It's the main event. Visit us at citykia.com.
Petco Love Florida Mega Pet Adoption Event is June 23rd through 25th. Join shelters and rescues across Florida to adopt 5,000 pets. Share your love with an adoptable cat or dog at one of the participating shelters or events across Florida. No adoption fees, all pets are fixed and vaccinated, and every adoption includes special offers from Petco. Find participating shelters and events at megaadoptflorida.com. The Petco Love Mega Pet Adoption Event, June 23rd through 25th. megaadoptflorida.com.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Smith's, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpol 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
This week at Macy's, summer is in full swing, so save on fresh updates with your coupon or Macy's card. With an extra 20% off when you shop online or an extra 15% off in store. That's on top of great prices on shorts, tees, swim, even outdoor toys and games. Plus, get 40 to 50% off during our great sandal sale. Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basketball.
Yeah, we're back on SportsCenter all night with the College World Series Finals now set.
Rocks and fires. Tommy White lifts it high and deep to left field. Costello to the wall. It's out of here. Walk it off. Tommy White. Home run number 23. And LSU is moving on. Wake Forest is headed home. Tommy White down the third base line, gets showered and mobbed at home plate. 2-0. LSU here in the bottom of the 11th inning.
Yeah, from the LSU Sports Radio Network, Tommy White, a 2-run jack in the 11th. LSU 2-0, a walk-off over top seed Wake Forest, clinching a spot in the men's College World Series Finals. The win sends the Tigers to the best of 3 against Florida beginning Saturday. It's a rematch of the 2017 All-SEC Final that the Gators won for their first national title. LSU became the first team to hand Wake their 2 consecutive losses. The Demon Deacons were 54-12 this season. The Tigers won 5-2 on Wednesday, setting up this victory as well. And it's White post-game with our Chris Budden.
Tommy, how's the heartbeat?
Oh, 1,000 million miles an hour. Oh no, I'm gassed.
Yeah.
What were you looking for in that AB off Manassi?
Fastball. Didn't get a fastball. I was so amped up that I just threw my hands at it.
What did Paul Skeens give you guys today?
An unreal performance as always. You know, we're going to have a chance to win every time he's on the mound. Yeah, he's something different.
You guys are heading to the championship series. For all of us that just witnessed this, what did we just see?
Awesome. I don't know. I'm lost of words. I'm excited. Wow.
That was a great interview. Some kind of game that was. LSU moving on to the finals against Florida. And again, ESPN has the coverage. It is a best of 3. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The majors, there was a beatdown in the boogie down.
Pitch swinging a well-hit ball down the right field line. This one is going to be gone. Goodbye, baseball. Right over the top of the wall in right field down the line. Back-to-back home runs by Teoscar Hernandez. And now Cal Raleigh. 4th home run for the Mariners tonight. Holy smokes, the Mariners have broken the bats wide open, and the Mariners now lead the Yankees 10-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. What a night for the Mariners offense.
At Seattle Sports 7:10 a.m., they hit 4 early home runs, teeing off against Domingo Germán and blowing out the Yankees 10-2. They prevent the sweep in the Bronx. From offense to mound work.
And the pitch, a swing, a pop fly, left field playable. Willie Castro in the sunshine. He calls, he catches, and the Twins win the game, shut out the Red Sox. And Joe Ryan throws his first career complete game shutout and the first complete game shutout by a Twins pitcher in over 5 years.
How about that? Treasure Island Baseball Network, Joe Ryan, a 3-hitter, Minnesota's first complete game shutout 5 years. Byron Buxton, by the way, first player in at least 9 seasons to hit a pair of 460-foot home runs. 6-0 is the final. Ryan first complete game effort in 47 big league starts. The major league leading Rays lost ace Shane McClanahan to a mid-back tightness in a 6-5 loss to the Royals. Left-hander 11-1 this season, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks in a 66-pitch outing. A 10-game streak for the Giants now over.
And Manny hits one in the air to deep left center field. Johnson's going to go back, but this one going to go. Another 3-run home run. Sanchez in the first, now Machado in the third, and the Padres double the lead 6-0.
That's 97-3. The Fan, Manny Machado, Gary Sanchez, 3-run jack. San Diego ending San Francisco's 10-game winning streak 10-0. Blake Snell, his 3rd straight decision, 1, striking out 11 over 6 frames. San Francisco batter struck out 14 times in their 7th shutout loss.
Here's the pitch. Swing, high, fly ball deep to right. Thomas back at the track, looks, and that ball is gone. A massive 3-run home run from Ketel Marte, making it 12 on the season. And the Diamondbacks now lead it 5-1.
That's your game-winning blow right there. Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. That 3-run shot by Marte, leading Arizona past Washington 5-3. Nationals manager Dave Martinez ejected for complaining about umpire Doug Eddings' strike zone.
Ozuna meets that with extreme brutality. Deep to left field, and the Braves tack on 2 more. A home run by Ozuna. And it's 5-0 Atlanta in the 10th. Homer number 14 for Ozuna. And by the hundreds, they're leaving Citizens Bank Park.
That's 680. The Fan. Ozuna, a 2-run shot. 5-run 10th inning. Braves passed the Phillies 5-1. That's their 8th straight win. Their pitchers 4 didn't give up an earned run in 10 frames.
First pitch in the air, fairly deep, right center field. Sawinski's on the run. He's going to watch it go. Garrett Cooper, a 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Marlins are punishing the Pirates bullpen, and they lead 6-4.
That's 940 WINZ. Garrett Cooper doubled, singled, hit the go-ahead 3-run jack in the 8th. Miami dealt Pittsburgh its 10th straight loss. That's a 6-4 final. Josh Bell homering Cleveland, sweeping Oakland 6-1. The A's have dropped 8 straight games. Coming up, more NBA draft coverage. Are there any concerns with the top pick? Wemby to the Spurs. Jay Billis shares, and Jed Howard joins his father's footsteps. That's next. This is ESPN Radio.
Greeny. It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time.
one of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
Make that switch to City Kia.
Get ready for the main event. Thank you for making City Kia the #1 Kia dealer in all of Central Florida. 2 years in a row. Some dealers claim to give you 10, 15, 20,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Does that seem real to you? We didn't think so. City Kia will beat any valid offer in the USA on an in-stock new Kia or pay you $500. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. It's the main event. Visit us at citykia.com.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
At Pogoji you don't need a reason to celebrate, but here are some ideas. It's the anniversary of your cousin's 3rd date? Slice into a tender double-cut pork chop. You mowed the lawn today. A rich bone-in ribeye aged 21 days just for this moment. And why not have Fogo host your housewarming party with decadent lamb picanha marinated in white wine? And they're all included at one price. That alone is reason to celebrate. Make a reservation at Fogo.com.
Make that switch to City Kia.
Get ready for the main event. Thank you for making City Kia the #1 Kia dealer in all of Central Florida. 2 years in a row. Some dealers claim to give you 10, 15, 20,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Does that seem real to you? We didn't think so. City Kia will beat any valid offer in the USA on an in-stock new Kia or pay you $500. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. It's the main event. Visit us at citykia.com.
Our 4th of July cookout is tomorrow, and the fridge is empty. So why are you on a pool float drinking through a twisty straw?
Because Smart & Final has everything we need, and they deliver. First Street spare ribs are $1.99 a pound, limit 4. Order complete.
Anything I can do?
You're kind of blocking the sun. Smart & Final, one trip and that's it.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off Super Paint products and Super Deck stains June 16th through the 26th. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. This week at Macy's, summer is in full swing, so save on fresh updates with your coupon or Macy's card. With an extra 20% off when you shop online or an extra 15% off in store. That's on top of great prices on shorts, tees, swim, even outdoor toys and games. Plus, get 40 to 50% off during our great sandal sale. Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase, except gift card services and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway,
inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquiat.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter all night.
Again, our top stories, Victor Wembanyama goes number 1 in the NBA draft to the San Antonio Spurs. At 2, the Hornets go with Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson. And the Thompson twins go 4-5. CP3 is headed to the Golden State Warriors. And LSU walks off Wake Forest to reach the championship round of the College World Series.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
And Wemby, number 1 to the Spurs. It marks the 3rd time San Antonio's 51-year history that they've held the number 1 overall pick, and they go with bigs across the board. David Robinson in 87, Tim Duncan in 97, and now Victor Wembanyama and Corey Alexander on what he reminds him of when he steps on the court in the NBA.
He's a 7'5" Kevin Durant. That's what he plays like. He plays like KD. When you look at the way that Kevin Durant plays, this is how Victor plays. And he said he watched Kevin Durant growing up, knowing that he was going to be a taller guy, but he wanted to be a perimeter player. And I believe the reason why it's perfect for San Antonio to have him is because Pop will put him in positions to be successful. He's not going to be a center. He's not going to be a big man. He is going to be a perimeter player his entire career.
Yeah, and he joins a Spurs team that has a core of young players. Only won 22 games a season ago. Jay Billis on possible concerns for the number 1 overall pick.
My only concern is I don't have any concerns. That sort of concerns me. Maybe his frame and the fact that he's going into a league that does have physicality. It's maybe not as physical as it was in the 80s or 90s, but he's going to face some physical players when he gets there. But because of his skill level, his size, his length, his mobility, I think he'll be able to handle that. Look, George Gervin played in the NBA for a long time, did it really well, and he wasn't, any physical specimen. And we had questions about Kevin Durant's build when he came out of Texas and he couldn't bench 185 pounds at the combine even once. And he's done just fine. I have no concerns that Victor Wembanyama is going to figure it out.
Wemby followed by Brandon Miller of Alabama, number 2 overall to the Charlotte Hornets, 6'9" playmaker, SEC freshman of the year, won the SEC tournament MVP, averaged nearly 19 a game, better than 8 rebounds a contest, shot 38% from beyond the arc. Miller had this on his reaction to going to Charlotte.
The future of Brandon Miller has been decided. He will be with the Charlotte Hornets, and he joins us right now. Brandon, first and foremost, of course, congratulations. I'm sure a special night for you. Just what emotions are you feeling right now?
I try to hold in all the emotions. I kind of let my parents do all the crying and boo-hooing. I'm just the guy, just giving all the hugs and love, just keeping everybody positive. I think, like my dad said, once Charlotte, what kind of person I am, I know it's going to be great.
What kind of player is Charlotte getting? How do you define your game?
I could just say I'm a winner, man. I just love to win ball games. I think with me, Melo and Mark and all the guys. I think it's going to be a great year for us and a lot of experience.
And Miller going to Charlotte, left Scooter Henderson in the lap of the Blazers. He is a point guard, and they do have one. And Damian Lillard, Corey Alexander on how things might hash out in Portland.
Portland should make a trade or make trades to bring in veterans to help Dame. I'm not saying that it needs to be Scoot. They have many tradable assets, but they need to make trades to help Dame win and keep Dame in Portland.
All right, let's round out the lottery, which is their first 14 picks. Orlando went with Anthony Black, the guard out of Arkansas, with the 7th overall pick. Corey Alexander, not too certain of how these players fit in O-Town.
When you look at the fit, you have to consider that this is the 3rd year in the last 4 years that they've taken a point guard. You go back 4 years ago, they took Cole Anthony. Then you take Jalen Suggs, and here you are now taking Anthony Black. And by the way, the 1 year that you didn't take a point guard, you took a point forward in Paolo Banchero, who plays with the basketball in his hands a lot. So when you're thinking about the Orlando Magic, of course, they're taking who they feel is the best player available at that time. But I'm not sure if it all fits very well together unless they've got some trades up their sleeve and some of those guys that maybe won't be on their roster moving forward.
Yeah, perhaps. He actually went 6th overall, then 7, 8 followed in a swap of sorts.
With the 7th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Bilal Coulibaly from Courbevoie, France. With the 8th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Jarris Walker from the University of Houston.
So just flip those guys, by the way, as Coulibaly will go to Washington, Walker to Indiana, and the Wiz give up a 2nd-round pick to get the Frenchman who played with Wemby on the same team in France. At 9, Taylor Hendricks, the center out of Central Florida, to the Jazz. Cason Wallace picked by the Mavs at 10, but he's shipped to OKC. And then at 11, the Orlando Magic take this guy, Jet Howard. You remember his father played in the NBA. His father coached him at Michigan, that being Juwan Howard. Jet on following in his dad's footsteps.
Jet Howard joins us right now. The 11th pick to the Orlando Magic, and we were just talking about some teams in this league that are young teams that have built through the draft. This is for them. They're going to have 5 picks in 3 years in the top 11. You're now one of them. What are you looking most forward to in Orlando?
Just proving Orlando right. I feel like they made the right decision within the organization. And I obviously just want to prove them right and exceed expectations as well.
Jet, we sat down in a hotel 2 years ago at Geico, me and you and your beautiful mother, Janine. And we're sitting there, we're talking about how can we get you in the McDonald's All-American game?
That was it.
And it didn't happen.
Nope.
And you did not let that hold you back. You went to Michigan. You had a great year. And not only did you go bear the cold, you're the 11th pick, and you get to go back to sunny Florida, back home.
Boy, I'm happy, boy. I'm happy.
Tell me a bit about this process for you over the last 18 months.
Honestly, it was hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Just going and playing for my dad. As a father, you're going to push the most out of your son as possible, especially if you're trying to get to here. So it was tough. Had rough days. We weren't as successful team-wise as we wanted to be, but just sticking down and just keep working. And when the draft process came, even just working harder, and, you know, I can't even explain how I feel right now. So. Yeah.
What is Uncle Phil Martelli thinking right now?
Yo, Phil hype. Phil is hype. You tell his younger nephew Nolan, man, that's my guy. So, yeah, man.
Well, young fella, I'm proud of you, man. Welcome to the fraternity. Of course, you've been a part of this NBA life for a very, very long time, not only with your pops playing, but coaching also with the Miami Heat. And now, of course, you're part of the rival Orlando Magic. But actually, Newt did play for the Magic for a quick second.
Did.
You forgot about that.
I did forget about
Pause
that.
a moment. Adam Silver.
Draft. The Oklahoma City Thunder select Derek Lively II from Duke University.
No, we will get to that in a moment. But again, Jet, this is now time for your story to begin. So congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we'll get to that right now. How about that? Juwan, by the way, was the 5th pick in the 1994 draft, and they just heard Derek Lively going to ultimately the Dallas Mavericks. Oklahoma City picked him. It's a swap, 10 and 12, so Lively going to Big D. Now, this is a player that turned it on after a slow start at Duke, and Seth Greenberg questioned how he was used early on with the Blue Devils.
Literally, he came into Duke, and he was injured as they were into their season. So, like, defining his role, learning how to play with these other players. What are his strengths? How are we going to use him? All those things, and you put that and Tariq Whitehead on top of that. Duke was a work in progress, a good portion of the season, which impacted literally how he was going to be utilized because they didn't have enough time to figure it out. They were into the thick of the season, and they really kind of couldn't reinvent themselves.
Yeah, he's a defender, that's for certain. Then there's 2 shooters that round out the lottery. Grady Dick, and if you haven't seen his blazer, you got to check it out. He goes 13th overall to the Raptors. Jordan Hawkins, the champion from UConn, goes to New Orleans at 14th overall. Now, the big slider was Cam Whitmore out of Villanova. Many thought he was a top 10 lock. Well, he slid all the way down to 20th overall to the Houston Rockets. Perplexing, says Corey Alexander.
Elite athleticism for Cam Whitmore. He is very skilled. The one knock on Cam Whitmore has been maybe his basketball IQ moving to this point. I believe that's the reason that he's fallen this far down, and I believe that had a lot to do with how quickly he processes information on the basketball court. Very intelligent young man off the court, but I think that was part of what pushed him down this far. So now Cam has that in front of him to be able to go out and improve to these teams.
How about a pick that was a certain fit? We're talking about the Miami Heat and Jaime Jaquez out of UCLA, PJ Carlesimo.
I mean, this guy is top 10 in points at UCLA. I think he's top 10 in steals. I believe he's 11th in rebounds. Has played the most postseason minutes. He is absolutely a warrior, and he's been listening throughout his entire career. Well, maybe he's not quick enough to do this, not big enough to do that. And he's been doing it on the biggest stage ever since. I'm really glad to see the Heat, and not by accident. I hope that's where he ends up. He'll fit in with that culture very, very well.
18th overall to Miami. Again, keep up with all the picks through rounds 1 and 2 on ESPN.com, as there were plenty of deals in between. Stephen A. Smith sizing up what he took from the first round of the NBA draft.
I'm proud of Charlotte picking Brandon Miller. I'm looking at Scoot Henderson, man. I can't get my eyes off of this kid because I think that he's going to be spectacular. But more importantly, I think his arrival in Portland will facilitate something I've been begging for quite some time. I think Damian Lillard is one of the great guards in the history of basketball, who is vastly underappreciated despite his salary and despite a number of commercials that can only be rivaled by Shaq and Snoop Dogg. The fact of the matter is we don't talk about Damian Lillard enough because he's in the Pacific Northwest playing for a team that simply isn't going anywhere in the immediate future. He's 32 years old, just finished averaging 32 a game. He's a long-range sniper. If Steph Curry were not playing in the NBA, we would be talking about Damian Lillard as the best shooting point guard in basketball. He's a closer. He not only closes, he waves goodbye to you when he closes on you. He is lethal. He is special, and he doesn't belong in the Pacific Northwest playing for an average team. He needs to go to a Miami Heat, someplace like that. I think Scoot Henderson's arrival means the end of Damian Lillard in Portland, and I couldn't be happier.
Perhaps along those lines, another veteran point guard did find his new team, that being Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors in a trade that sends Jordan Poole to the Washington Wizards. Bobby Marks on the Wiz end of things.
They're going to try to probably mirror a little bit what Utah has done. I know that's extremely hard considering, what the assets they got back is not what Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert fetched. You do need a reset, a Poole, Tyus Jones backcourt kind of keeps your head above water here. Still not a playing team. The goal is, certainly to, as you saw with Utah, be somewhat competitive. If you have to reset at the trade deadline and do it again, you can certainly do that. I just think it gives them more flexibility moving forward.
And Woj also talking about a role for CP3, not huge in Golden State, which might fit him just fine.
And Chris Paul, you are not asking him to carry a significant big role. There's plenty of great guard play here, but certainly the role he could play could be significant as they try to get back into championship contention. And, Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Joe Lacob, their owner, they've talked about wanting to still compete, but also the reality with this new salary cap, 4 years, $140 million now off the books in Golden State.
Yeah, with Paul, it's about health, right? Being healthy at the right time. He's fallen to injuries during the playoffs several times in his career. Plenty of NBA draft talk. Bobby Marks joins Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max this morning, 7:15 Eastern. Seth Greenberg at 9 a.m. Sean Elliott, former Spurs player and TV analyst, talking about Wemby, #1 to San Antonio at 9:30 Eastern. You want NFL talk? David Kaplan, 6:45 Eastern. And Mike Tenenbaum on the show at 7:30 Eastern. It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jay Williams, Max Kellerman, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU this morning. Coming up, more NBA draft coverage and the night's top plays, I might add. That's next. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, did your team get the NBA draft right? I'll give you my winners and my losers, maybe even a list. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
ESPN Radio SportsCenter All Night. More next.
Ah, that's some refreshing savings. Maverick is hooking up Adventure Club members with 89-cent large fountain drinks all summer long. This is an Adventure Club exclusive, so don't miss out on these savings. Download the Maverick app or go to Maverick.com and join today. When your first stop is Maverick, your next stop can be any adventure you crave. We've got great values on fuel, fresh-made bonfire food, and all your favorite snacks and drinks. So hurry over and have a blast on your next stop. Maverick. Adventure's first stop.
Centel Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving services. From packing to delivery, Centel Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience door to door. You'll be enjoying a peaceful new dinner in your new home in no time. So for your next move, choose Centel Moving, the movers who'll meet your needs anytime, anywhere. Get a quote today at CentelMoving.com. That is CENTO moving.com. Centel Family Moving and Storage. Forget the stress, move with the best.
Hi, this is Gail from Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hey, Gail, I'm looking for a credit card that's good for a busy lifestyle.
I've got the hook up. You can earn 3 times the points on dining and 2 times on fuel with our Gold Rewards card. IYKYK.
Do you mean if you know, you know?
Is that what that means?
We totally get it. Finance, that is. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquill.
Yeah, we're back on SportsCenter All Night with the night's top plays, all about the game on the diamond. Steve Lennox has the details.
Number 4.
Jim, Mariners and Yankees in the Bronx. Teoscar Hernandez went deep in the 4th inning. That made it 9-0 Mariners. Next hitter, Cal Raleigh. Hernandez and Raleigh going back-to-back in the Bronx. The call from Seattle Sports, 7:10 a.m.
Pitch swinging a well-hit ball down the right field line. This one is going to be gone. Goodbye, baseball. Right over the top of the wall in right field down the line. Back-to-back home runs by Teoscar Hernandez. And now Cal Raleigh. 4th home run for the Mariners tonight. Holy smokes, the Mariners have broken the bats wide open. And the Mariners now lead the Yankees 10-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. What a night for the Mariners offense.
Number 3.
Braves and Phillies with a matinee in Philadelphia Thursday. Game scoreless through the first 9 innings. Marcell Ozuna going deep in the top of the 10th inning. Ozuna adding to the Braves' lead. The call, 680, The Fan in Atlanta.
Ozuna meets that with extreme brutality. Deep to left field, and the Braves tack on 2 more. A home run by Ozuna. And it's 5-0 Atlanta in the 10th. Homer number 14 for Ozuna. And by the hundreds, they're leaving Citizens Bank Park.
Number 2. Red Sox and Twins wrapped up their series at Target Field. Twins starting pitcher Joe Ryan finished what he started. The call from the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
And the pitch, a swing, a pop fly, left field playable. Willie Castro in the sunshine. He calls, he catches, and the Twins win the game, shut out the Red Sox. And Joe Ryan throws his first career complete game shutout, and the first complete game shutout by a Twins pitcher in over 5 years.
Number 1. College World Series in Omaha, LSU and Wake Forest. Scoreless in the bottom of the 11th inning. The winner of the game on Thursday night in Omaha advancing to the CWS Finals. LSU's Tommy White played the role of hero. White's walk-off bomb with a call coming from LSU's Sports Radio Network.
Rocks and fires. Tommy White lifts it high and deep to left field. Your ball still over the wall. Walk it off. Tommy White. Home run number 23. And LSU is moving on. Wake Forest is headed home. Tommy White down the third base line, gets showered and mobbed at home plate. 2-0. LSU here in the bottom of the 11th inning.
As Steve just said, LSU Sports Radio Network. LSU going to the championship round of the College World Series to take on Florida. It is a best of 3. You heard the call from their Sports Radio Network. How about Cole Ravitch on ESPN?
And he hung one. Did he get it? Did he get it? Yes, he did. Tommy Tanks walks it off. And the LSU Tigers will face the Gators in the finals.
That they will. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max talking NBA draft this morning. It's in the books, both rounds. Follow every pick on ESPN.com. Bobby Marks joins the show at 7:15 Eastern. Seth Greenberg at 9 Eastern. And Spurs TV analyst and former NBA champion as a player, Sean Elliott, on at 9:30 Eastern, talking Wemby to the Spurs at number 1 overall. He's 7'4" and can do it all. A generational talent. And he lands with the Spurs. Keep in mind, David Robinson, 87, Tim Duncan, 97. And now the Spurs get another big to turn their franchise around. It's been some down years in San Antonio. How about the shocker from Corey Alexander's standpoint? Nick Smith Jr., Arkansas freshman, falling to the bottom end of round 1.
And, of course, injured early and then came back to play. When many people told him not to come back and play, he actually came back and played. Showed his competitive spirit, averaged about 12 points per game for Arkansas this year, stayed home and played at Arkansas. I'm shocked to see him fall this far, but he's in a great situation because you put him in Charlotte that needs backcourt help. Of course, we talked about LaMelo Ball, but they don't have really other guards. Kelly Oubre has had a decent time in Charlotte, but they need a guy like Nick Smith Jr., legit size, that can play in the backcourt.
27th overall to the Hornets. Seth Greenberg on another fit for him. Marcus Sasser finds a role with the Pistons.
I was surprised when people were talking about him being a second-round draft choice because he reminds me a little bit of Davion Mitchell, a little bit. I mean, he could really guard the ball, not maybe have it on the string as much. Shot it really well this past year. Another guy coming off a bunch of injuries. But, we say the guy's got a little dog in him. I mean, dog in a positive way. You don't take plays off when you play at Houston. There's accountability every single day. I think, again, this is a winning piece in Detroit in terms of culture, toughness, competitiveness, to get that team that hasn't been competitive to put in the locker room guys that only know winning.
Sasser goes 25th overall. His college teammate, Jarris Walker, to the Pacers at 8. Kentucky's Chris Livingston was the final pick of the draft to the Milwaukee Bucks but his fellow Kentucky teammate Oscar Tshiebwe was not picked. Keep up with all the selections from the NBA draft on ESPN.com, including where some of the name players that weren't picked landed as free agents. KJ Maxx talking NBA draft with Bobby Marks and Seth Greenberg joining the show this morning. Denny McCarthy came within inches of shooting a 59, settling for a 10 under 60. Lowest round of his PGA Tour career. Rory McIlroy, his first ace on tour, and that came at the Travelers Championship. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Nick Carty and technical director Steve Risser, I'm Jim Basquall. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max is next.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
You are built for nursing. You're built with the compassion it takes to care for others. You are built with ambition to take charge of your future. And when you start with Galen College of Nursing, your education is built solely on nursing, with the prerequisites built in, and faculty and staff that support you every step of the way. You are built for a future in nursing, and Galen College of Nursing is built around you. Get started at galencollege.edu.
Centel Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving services. From packing to delivery, Centel Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience door to door. You'll be enjoying a peaceful new dinner in your new home in no time. So for your next move, choose Centel Moving, the movers who will meet your needs anytime, anywhere. Get a quote today at CentelMoving.com. That is CENTO moving.com. Centel Family Moving and Storage. Forget the stress, move with the best.
Attention Smith's shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Smith's and experience the care you and your family deserve. Smith's, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
The ghost pepper has a reputation, so does a ghost pepper wing that doesn't send you into tears make any sense? Does to us. That's why Popeye's ghost pepper wings are the perfect balance of flavor and fire. Popeye starts with intensely craveable flavor, adds the right amount of kick to keep things interesting, not inferno-ing, and then offers them at only $5 for 6 pieces. Because in New Orleans, we like to taste our food, not cry over it. Call us crazy. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Additional terms apply.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ah, that's some refreshing savings. Maverick is hooking up Adventure Club members with 89-cent large fountain drinks all summer long. This is an Adventure Club exclusive, so don't miss out on these savings. Download the Maverick app or go to Maverick.com and join today. When your first stop is Maverick, your next stop can be any adventure you crave. We've got great values on fuel, fresh-made bonfire food, and all your favorite snacks and drinks. So hurry over and have a blast on your next stop. Maverick. Adventure's first stop.
The Portable Uni by ePass. Now available in black. A toll pass that blends into your windshield. Finally. And Uni works on toll roads in 19 states. The Portable Uni by ePass. Get yours today on Amazon or go with uni.com.
The ghost pepper has a reputation, so does a ghost pepper wing that doesn't send you into tears make any sense? Does to us. That's why Popeye's ghost pepper wings are the perfect balance of flavor and fire. Popeye starts with intensely craveable flavor, adds the right amount of kick to keep things interesting, not inferno-ing, and then offers them at only $5 for 6 pieces. Because in New Orleans, we like to taste our food, not cry over it. Call us crazy. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Additional terms apply.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
The future is here. Here comes Victor Wembanyama.
We've never seen anything like him. He really has it all.
He heads to San Antonio, following in the footsteps of fellow #1 picks Tim Duncan, David Robinson. Following in the footsteps of fellow #1 picks Tim Duncan, David Robinson.
I'm going to try and learn as quick as possible because I want to win that ring.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Good morning, everybody. A little overcast in the city today, Jay. Supposed to be a lot of storms coming in the Northeast, like over the next week.
I saw. There's nothing worse than my kids being out of school.
Oh,
right. So the kids are out of school, so
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they're in the house. And the one thing you want more than anything, just give me good weather. Just go outside. And you look at the weather forecast, next 2 weeks, rains every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, and this is what I got.
Although I will say about some weather apps, the least reliable thing. Like you have to like actually look into it a little bit.
It's like our forecasting on who's going to win NBA championships.
That's
with
right.
Your
Well, not
forecasting.
mine is
yours
perfect.
because I had Denver.
I said
you
Denver
had,
the whole
you had
time.
Miami in
I had
7.
Denver.
You had Miami in 7.
Denver. Listen, Jay, it's not important who said what. It's that as a show, we picked Denver. We have a basketball expert on the show who picked Denver.
That's what you're
it
doing
is.
now.
That's what it is.
It's a smart move.
My job as host is to extract
Find
knowledge.
loopholes.
From the experts.
You find loopholes.
Were you or were you not the second overall pick in the draft? Only because there was a 7'6" Chinese center in the same draft. They wanted, not only was he a freakish prospect, but he also represented entry into an enormous untapped market.
Yes. Scoot Henderson knows exactly how I feel this morning.
Yes.
Same with Brandon Miller.
Yes,
Like,
the
welcome
NBA
to that life.
The NBA draft.
Welcome to that life.
Victor Wembanyama in a shocker went first
By the way,
overall
wait, hold on, Max.
to San Antonio. Who could have predicted it?
We had Marty last night, by the way. Marty, did you see Marty Smith, our own? He had a picture of Victor Wembanyama literally like shaven into the back of his head.
Marty's
with
that
the
dude.
ESPN symbol on the side. Okay,
Yeah.
First off, don't ever question Marty's loyalty to the company brand.
Yeah.
And then literally they packed out San Antonio. And I love last night after the pick because every San Antonio fan is like, yeah, with so much excitement. I'm like, we all knew that was going to happen.
Well,
everybody in the no. I'm happy for them, but everybody in the world knew Victor Wembanyama was going to be
But
drafted.
you know what it
with
is,
the first
Jay?
pick in the draft.
For the first time, San Antonio fans finally get to take a big at #1 overall. That's all they've ever wished for. It's just one time can we take a big first overall
That didn't
when it's
happen in
obvious he's
87.
going to be great.
87 with David Robinson. That didn't happen with Tim Duncan, but hey, but look, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Dude is elite. Dude is special. You saw his whole family interviewed last night, and they got an absolute stud. They got a generational talent.
Look at these, like Duncan was hyped, but if people recall that draft, there were some like, wait, should Keith Van Horn go first overall? When David Robinson was drafted, no one in the world thought someone else should go #1. He was, in fact, even when Patrick Ewing was drafted in the first ever draft lottery, the reason he went 1 overall is because David Robinson was in the military at the time, or else but this is what I mean about hype around draft prospects, Jay. When you get to a level of hype on a prospect where there's unanimity that he could be the best player on a championship team, like he's the type, and there's all this hype around him and he goes #1 overall, I don't think Greg Oden fits into that category. I think there are questions about Greg Oden. I think Zion didn't have the height, and the question was, this is going to be interesting. Like, he's not a rim protector. We don't really see guys shaped like that win championships. Could he be the first? But Ewing, Robinson, Shaq, those guys, it was all, that looks like a guy you can build a championship team around. And there was enormous hype.
What did I say when the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship? I'm like,
Big is
it
back.
feels like they ended small ball,
Yeah.
the small ball era. Now, the small ball era will still try to be pushed ahead. Obviously, you're going to see with Phoenix and KD and DeAndre, but still big, right?
Yeah.
But you're seeing teams focus on things like that, like, okay, generational talent. But the crazy thing about the yesterday, Max, as big as Victor Wembanyama was, that wasn't the biggest story in basketball. It was the CP3 trade.
You want to get into CP3 first? Is that your big takeaway
from the draft?
Yeah, it could be. It's up to you.
I mean, I was shocked yesterday by that. I was shocked. First of all, I was shocked to learn once the deal finally got finalized between Washington and Phoenix, how many picks Michael Winger actually got, right, for Washington. You look through 2024 seconds, 2025, 2026, 2027, pick swaps, 2028. 2024, 2026.
It's a type of trade that it's a type of trade that could change the rules in the next CBA, right? Yeah.
So I stand corrected, Washington Wizard fans, because I thought it was malpractice when I didn't understand how many picks they actually got in exchange for Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
So props to Washington.
Who was a distressed asset with a no trade clause and an enormous contract, and who's missed a lot of time in the last 3 seasons.
So Washington Wizard fans, I stand corrected on that. But no way in hell did I think I would see CP3 get traded to the Golden State Warriors. I still don't believe it to be true, Max. I stand on my principles. Last night when I saw it, I'm like, okay, you unloaded Jordan Poole. There were issues there. His contract, 4 years, $130 million. You unloaded that with the second apron. There are going to be major tax implications for teams that are over the luxury tax. Okay, I get that move for Michael Dunleavy Jr. Now you bring on CP3, but it doesn't feel like it's finished yet to me. It feels like they're bringing on CP3. Are they going to waive him? You're then going to re-sign Draymond Green? Are you still looking for additional pieces? I hear a lot of my people over in Cannes right now for the Sports Beach Summit, right? There's a lot of advertising things going over in Cannes. You see LeBron James in Cannes. I hear a lot of speculation around Draymond Green and Dame Lillard spending a lot of time together. Do I feel some trading going on there between Draymond and Dame? Can that be possible for Golden State? Or is this a finished package with CP3 and Steph Curry?
I'm
floating it out there.
Wait, hold on. Let me
I am floating it out there.
You're suggesting that Draymond and Dame play together somewhere or are involved in a trade for each other as principals?
I don't know what I'm suggesting. All I'm saying is if those two are spending some time together, could that be used as a package deal? Could people be thrown off yesterday thinking that it's only CP3 and him still being waived to go to LA, them still trying to find some cap space with Dre to go get a guy like Dame?
If
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Put Dame in the same backcourt with Steph.
CP3 can work with the second unit, and I'm not saying CP3 can't work. CP3 has proven that he can work playing in a system built around guards and spacing. He did that in Houston. But it does feel like that's a really small backcourt. Are you going to close with is CP3 just coming off the bench? Is he a bona fide guy coming off the bench now?
I was thinking that's
you're not going to close with Steph and CP3?
I know what you mean about who's going to open, who's going to close, but I always think about it in terms of minutes. In the backcourt, right? You got 96 minutes. You could even add one of the forward positions nowadays, but you got 48 plus 48. If you have 3 really good players, there's your rotation. You can eat up those 96 minutes between 3 players, and they're all getting right around 30 minutes, a game. That's some of them a little more, some of them a little less, but that could work.
Max, I stand on it. I don't like the move. I don't like it. It's
as of right now. Where are they in the West?
Hold on. Before we even get to where they are in the West, I know the situation happened with Jordan Poole last year, right? I know that they couldn't bounce back, and I think a lot of that is on Jordan Poole, who now finds himself in Washington in a rebuild, championship contender to a rebuild, right? So I think it's a great sign or lesson for young players. You'll learn to work through things. You asked for it, you got your money, but now you're on a rebuild. But it does feel like you're losing a legit eye-popping score. That is one of the main reasons you won a chip last year.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years, last year.
2 seasons ago.
All right, 2 seasons ago now. But one of the main reasons you won a chip, Max.
Yeah.
So now you lose that, and you're filling in that gap. And I love CP3. First ballot Hall of Famer, he's going to be. But a guy who's been injury prone late in his career multiple times down the stretch when you need him the most, who's turning 39 years old, who now you're going to put him in a system in which there's constant movement and constant continuity.
But again, as you said,
it increases the odds of injury.
He could be on the move. Getting back to Jordan Poole, though, you could stand on principle. That's fine. Maybe Jordan Poole should have worked through it. Maybe Draymond, whatever it is, it wasn't working. Like that, it ruined.
It didn't work
season.
for 1 year. I understand.
And
you just won it the year prior.
He has an enormous contract considering the new CBA and how that punishes teams that spend that money. You got to hang on to Steph. You're going to pay. It looks like you want to pay Dre, right? You're going to work something out. What's going to happen with Clay? You've paid Wiggins. There's only so much money to go around, and this is a way to get him off your books, fix the chemistry, and try to re-sign the guys you really want. I get it from their point of view to move him. The question is what they got in return. Is that, as you said, simply a way to dump salary, or do they plan on using Chris Paul?
That's what I think. That's the $1 million question everybody's waiting to find out. I do not believe that they are done. They can't be done.
Because the starting five right now is the question.
You still have Clay, his contract is up after this year.
Yep, and his defense wasn't the same since the injury.
Agree. Well, I mean, back-to-back injuries, obviously on a knee and an Achilles, right?
2 years.
But he did have a good offensive season last year. Didn't show up that great in the playoffs, but still, are you going to give him a super max?
No, as you mentioned,
or a max deal.
That's why it's hard to figure Chris Paul, because at this stage in his career, he doesn't have defensive value. Steph plays defense as well as he can, but he's not really a defender. And now Clay being diminished defensively, you're relying on Andrew Wiggins to do all the work.
So, I mean, Chris Paul, as opposed to June 28th, what is today's date? Today is the 23rd, June 28th, that he will be locked for $30 million over the next 2 years, right? So you got Chris Paul, that $30 million. Look here on ESPN2. Steph Curry, 53. Clay, 37.9. He's up next year. Wiggins, 27.3. GP the second, 8.7. Kevon Looney. I mean, you still got pieces like Moses Moody and Kuminga. Like, is Kuminga on the move with CP3?
Kuminga's the most interesting
and potentially
question.
A pick.
Kuminga's the most interesting question to me, because when
you're not
Myers
even putting in
drafts
Draymond
Kuminga,
Green in his new deal that he's about to get here.
The idea with Kuminga was maybe could he eventually do some of the stuff that Draymond Green does, right, and all that, but he's still, look at the age. This is what I mean about Kuminga. So far, it doesn't look, but he's 20 years old. He's so young.
Would you break up Clay and Steph? If Clay's going to want that type of money coming up.
If he wants a max, super max, yeah.
You break him up.
I think Clay, I since the injury.
I can't do it.
So you're going to give him the super max.
No, I said I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I want to keep them together, if he wants a max deal, I'm not sure I can afford that, considering where he is at this stage of his career. And I love Clay. I love Clay as a player.
So, Jay, I understand you have a list.
Again? You're doing this again?
Look up the screen. It says
what do you
right
mean,
here.
look at the screen? You're the only one who has a screen in front of you.
No, look, right there.
I can't see that screen. You know I have bad eyes like you.
It says Jay has a list.
Are you sure?
It says you've updated it twice before the show even started, and now I know what list our producers are referring to.
I don't have a list. I have no list. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, once again, we find ourselves in a list issue.
Once again, Nuno does this to me.
We're list out of luck. 888 say ESPN, KJM.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
Accomplishing something that I've been dreaming of, hearing that sentence from Adam Silver. I've dreamed of it so much.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
That's some refreshing savings. Maverick is hooking up Adventure Club members with 89-cent large fountain drinks all summer long. This is an Adventure Club exclusive, so don't miss out on these savings. Download the Maverick app or go to Maverick.com and join today. When your first stop is Maverick, your next stop can be any adventure you crave. We've got great values on fuel, fresh-made bonfire food, and all your favorite snacks and drinks. So hurry over and have a blast on your next stop. Maverick. Adventure's first stop.
Did you miss the open enrollment for health insurance? Did you enroll into a high-deductible, limited network marketplace plan? It's not too late. You can still change your plan at any time. The folks at USABG's Freedom of Choice plan are available now. This plan puts most of your coverage right up front, where you only meet a deductible if you go into a hospital. You pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower than Obamacare. With USABG's Freedom of Choice plan, the monthly premiums are not tied to your income, so there's no surprises at tax time. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employment coverage is just too expensive, call USABG today at 321-321-4600. 321-380-4540. That's 321-380-4540. Or go to usabgflorida.com. That's usabgflorida.com. USABG's Freedom of Choice Plan. They can customize a plan managed by you, not the government.
The ghost pepper has a reputation, so does a ghost pepper wing that doesn't send you into tears make any sense? Does to us. That's why Popeye's ghost pepper wings are the perfect balance of flavor and fire. Popeye starts with intensely craveable flavor, adds the right amount of kick to keep things interesting, not Inferno wing, and then offers them at only $5 for 6 pieces. Because in New Orleans, we like to taste our food, not cry over it. Call us crazy. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Additional terms apply.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift the Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
He might be the most skilled big with that size that the game has ever seen. You add his play with this team, it's over.
Jay's round ball rankings.
The game is over.
He's making a list. He's changing it twice. Keyshawn J. Willimax, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. So NBA draft when Wembanyama goes 1, and then by the way, Miller and Scoot 2 and 3, like we always thought until recent reporting had it made it seem as though maybe it would be reversed.
Keisha, Linda, Felicia, Dawn,
and the Thompson
Leticia.
twins.
What? What? I was about to start spitting lyrics, man. You just interrupted me.
You like to go through all the names. I know.
I mean, it's my favorite thing to do. It's a lot of names.
It's a list of names.
It's a list of names. Obviously,
I'm surprised you of all people remember. It's a list.
I am glad you finally picked up on the list of names. Max Kellerman has arrived this morning. Have you had your cup of coffee?
Not fully.
See, Paulie, this guy needs coffee. That's what it is. You usually have your coffee right on the table when we come in, and then you trip and you fall.
Yeah,
we still have.
We spill it. I haven't spilled my first cup of coffee yet.
Not today.
Damn it.
Not yet. We have video footage from yesterday, though.
Yeah.
It is,
Jay set me up. He set
early.
up a wire, so a trip wire.
You set up your own wire.
You set that up as a trip
and
wire.
by the way, there are multiple stains on the rug.
That's
from you spilling. See, there you go again.
Joe,
you just say it out loud.
Joe.
And
Jay.
Joe. You just call me Joe.
I try to say no and Jay at the same time.
Joe. What is
Suits you.
Is Joey here? Is Keyshawn
Jay,
here?
this is a show rug.
This is a show rug.
We don't say who spilled what. It just represents what has been spilled during the show.
This looks like my rug at home with my kids and my dog who just throw up and throw stuff on the rug. That's what
Unbelievable.
It is. It's like mine was like, we're going to get a nice rug. I'm like, but why?
I'm fastidious about that stuff. Don't eat it on the couch.
Fastidious.
Just the table's right there. You can watch TV while you're at the table's right. I want to be on the couch. Don't. And as soon as I leave the room, I come back. It's on the couch.
I'm going to need a definition on fastidious.
So what's your list, Jay?
Which list are we doing now?
Whichever we're just begging you for a list of any kind at this point.
One list. Okay.
Any kind. You could go through the names on the song. We just want a list.
I don't want to give you a list on that because that can lead to a completely different conversation and discussion. Okay. I am going to give my list of 1 to Golden State. I just made that up on the fly and it sounds great. All right, here we go.
This is my third best fill, I think. Go ahead. They're showing it on ESPN2 right now.
This is what happens. Look at me.
Jay,
I'm like a little
see
child.
your tripwire
Look at me, I'm
worked.
like a little child.
His tripwire worked.
It's because you can't see out of your left eye. And look, the best is you tried to move your right leg on ESPN2 out of the way. Look at the first here.
I don't remember.
You stand up here.
Okay, let me see. Hold
you
on.
stand up here.
Let's do a play-by-play.
Yep. The water bottle.
Now that's us.
That's us now.
By the way, I literally thought that was.
And now, wait. By the way, what's Jerry doing? Some trickery here on TV? We were staring
You're
at
right.
each other.
I thought I was being slick. Look at me. I got my left leg out of the way.
Look at you. You got your belly out of the way. There it is. And boom, there it is. and you look, you stare to make sure that there's no coffee in the coffee
Well,
jug.
it's the old thing where you may have gotten something on yourself. You look down slowly as though that's going to help.
By the way, look at me. I'm like the badass little kid. Look at me. Just leaning over, loving every second.
You leaned over like, ooh,
you're in trouble. Ooh, Teacher James, he did it. He did it again.
Caught red-handed.
Just telling the teacher, yelling out loud. Okay, you ready for my list?
I am.
1 to Golden State.
All right. This is the
Number
Western
1.
Conference. I was supposed to do this later this afternoon on TV, so let me hear your list. I'm listening
So
very
you're just
closely.
going to take my list and then do it on your show.
I have
Just
a separate list. I can tell you right now.
We'll see if it's separate after. Don't tell me. Okay, here we go. Number 1. I'm putting respect on their name, man. Just give it. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference, okay? Like, it is what it is. We're going to go quick with the list. Number two. My favorite thing to do in the morning. What? Okay.
Of course.
Number
If
2.
you're civilized, of course.
Hey,
of course.
yo.
Before
You read
the
paper,
shower.
you go over
Before the shower. Of course.
After the shower?
No, before the shower.
Who does that after the shower?
Oh, there are people.
Really? That's nasty. I can't condone that. Number 2, the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
Okay? I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what moves are made.
Yep.
Still, this is fluid, as Stephen A. Smith says, but still, Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton, KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, next up on the list.
Number 3.
This is hard. I really think with the way they were constructed after the trade deadline, I got to put respect on one of the best defensive teams. We'll see what moves they make. I got to go with the Lakers. Key, that's for you. I know you're on vacation right now. Laker fans, you guys always call in. I'll say the Lakers at number 3. Next up.
Number 4.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Sacramento Kings. I do. I just, look, light the beam. Respect to you, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. We're seeing them try to make moves. Domantas Sabonis. I got respect for what you guys are building. You guys got the toughness. You guys are there. And that's number 4. Okay, next up.
Number 5.
Golden State. I just got to go Golden State there. It's tough because Golden State just with Steph, with Dre, we'll see. I'm not sure about will they re-sign him. We'll see what the market dictates. I don't like the CP3 move as much. I think they lose a pop, but still it's hard for me to go against Steph and Clay and the foundation that they built. Best shooter in basketball. I'll give them 4. 5, then I would have Memphis.
Wait, is that 5 or 6 you're on now?
I don't know what number I'm on. It's a list. It's my list. It just ends up
Number
on
5.
Then I would have Memphis right there. Obviously, losing Tyus Jones, Marcus Smart, but losing Dylan Brooks, I still think there's work to do. They could jump in front of Golden State if they were able to land a guy like OG Anunoby, or if they're able to, poke a guy like Pascal Siakam.
So here's Jay's list: Nuggets 1, Suns 2, Lakers 3, Kings 4, Warriors 5 in the West. And let's see those odds. We posted the Vegas odds on ESPN 2 moments ago. We'll get back to those in a second. And then I'm going to tell you my list, Jay. But okay, so Nuggets are plus 230. They're the favorites, followed by the Suns is plus 350. It makes sense. Warriors plus 650 are considered what this represents is what the odds makers believe the public believes, because that line is set to try to get equal betting on both sides of it, among the public. So the odds makers think the public thinks that the Warriors have the 3rd best odds. Okay. Lakers 4, Clippers 5, Grizzlies 6, Mavs 7.
I can't have the Lakers in any more of my preseason list. I am done. I'm done. I'm telling you right now, I am boycotting, because every year they set you up for failure.
The Lakers?
No, I'm talking about the Clippers.
Oh, Clippers.
Every year, I feel like we always talk about
Kawhi feels great. Didn't you read it?
Yeah, I read the articles yesterday, and he feels good. We'll just see how that actually translates. And I love Paul George. Paul George is nasty. Kawhi is one of the nasties, one of the nastiest in the game when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, but how many times do we need to keep prefacing that statement by saying when they're healthy?
When Kawhi and Paul George are on the court together, I'm not going where you think I'm going with this. When you see their hands next to each other, it's like you sitting next to Yao Ming, or like JJ Redick sitting next to Victor Wembanyama, because there's a big, big difference there. It's a big difference. What are you looking at?
It's the same difference.
7'5".
It's the same difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Look at this picture. Look at this.
But
it's
not the same difference. No, Jay, it's not the same difference. No,
it is. Well, time out. The bottom picture with JJ, it's zoomed in, okay, obviously, and it's taken from floor level. My picture does not look like it's taken from floor level. It's taken from below floor level and it's zoomed out. It's
well,
not
no,
fair.
the real problem is he's in the foreground and you're in the background. Jay, you can never be photographed next to Yao Ming in the background. It's exaggerated. That looks like special effects from a movie.
So why are the water glasses tall, almost as tall as I am?
Yeah, those are enormous wine glasses. Those are like gag glasses. Like
Yao Ming's kneecap is the size of my damn waist, Max. But that's the problem.
JJ Redick is 6'4", and Wembanyama is he's just huge. But Yao's also not as lanky as Wembanyama. He's just big.
I got so confused last night. Are we measuring people with their shoes on or with their shoes off?
In the NBA, you know we do it with the shoes on.
We had so many varying reports last night. Shoes on or shoes off?
Shoes on in the NBA, because the NBA always exaggerates by about 2 inches.
Yeah.
Everyone's about 2 inches shorter than listed.
4 in the program.
Who?
Me.
No, I was going to say, you're 6'1.5" in the NBA?
See, don't do that. So that means you're 5'4".
No. yeah, it turns out it's true. So Jay, let's get to my list now.
We have to go to break now. We're late.
As always, you chewed up all the time.
Well, as always, we're late to break.
Key and I always talking. Can't get a word in.
Max, we have to go to break.
More KJ coming up.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Conrad in Milwaukee.
Hey guys, I want to say this right away. I start my day with you guys. I love everything you got to say. Love you guys. Keyshawn, you're my favorite guy. All going all the way back to the Jets. Later.
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Next.
When you download the Smiths app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Smiths app now to save big. Smiths, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Smiths, fresh for everyone.
The ghost pepper has a reputation, so does a ghost pepper wing that doesn't send you into tears make any sense? Does to us. That's why Popeye's ghost pepper wings are the perfect balance of flavor and fire. Popeye starts with intensely craveable flavor, adds the right amount of kick to keep things interesting, not Inferno wing, and then offers them at only $5 for 6 pieces. Because in New Orleans, we like to taste our food, not cry over it. Call us crazy.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Additional terms apply.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpul 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
There's a birthday right around the corner, and you have no idea what to get. Might we suggest the one thing people simply can't get enough of? A homemade beef dinner. It could be a juicy ribeye, a hearty beef stew, braised short ribs, or your mom's meatloaf. Nothing says I love you like reminding someone they love beef. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
Ah,
That's some refreshing savings. Maverick is hooking up Adventure Club members with 89-cent large fountain drinks all summer long. This is an Adventure Club exclusive, so don't miss out on these savings. Download the Maverick app or go to Maverick.com and join today. When your first stop is Maverick, your next stop can be any adventure you crave. We've got great values on fuel, fresh-made bonfire food, and all your favorite snacks and drinks. So hurry over and have a blast on your next stop. Maverick. Adventure's first stop.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tinks proudly presents a special announcement for the Cedar City Centennial Railroad Party. Happening in downtown historic Main Street, June 19th through the 24th. Cedar City knows how to party, and a chance to celebrate a century of rail history will be no exception. While you're enjoying the fun, be sure to stop in and explore what Tinks has to offer. You can't be out on the town without a showroom shine. Tinks offers the best detailing products in the business, including chemical guys. Tinks also caters to boating, ATV, off-road, and RV lovers, providing the suppliers to keep your next adventure as enjoyable as they should be. The friendly staff at Tinks looks forward to seeing you at the Cedar City Centennial Railroad Party. Tinks Superior Auto Parts, where quality meets celebration. At your conveniently locally owned and nationally known Napa Tinks Superior Auto Parts in St. George, Hurricane, Cedar City, Delta, Fillmore, Beaver, Panguitch, Parowan, and Mesquite.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
That's how it sounded. As the Spurs drafted Victor Wembanyama, #1 overall. Brandon Miller went second to the Hornets. The Blazers took Scoot Henderson with a 3rd overall pick. Amen Thompson went 4 to Houston, while his twin brother, Osar, which is, by the way, the Thompson twins, right, went 5th to the Pistons. That was considered, I think, a mild surprise. They became the first brothers to be drafted in the top 5 of the same draft since the 76 ABA-NBA merger. Kawhi Leonard, meantime, underwent a cleanup procedure on his torn meniscus in his right knee. He's expected to be 100% ready for the Clippers training camp in October. Clippers president of basketball operations, Lawrence Frank, said that the team's franchise forward feels great. That's a quote. And has 8-week recovery timetable from when he underwent the procedure on June 6th. He should be ready to go. The Chicago Bulls, this is just awful.
Don't get me started on this.
Lonzo Ball to miss all of next season. He's still only 25 years old, but injuries have already robbed him of a lot of his career and maybe progress. Hate it, player.
Hate it for him.
Ball, 25, missed all of the 2022-23 season, underwent cartilage transplant surgery on his left knee in March. The 3rd surgery on his knee since he appeared in his last game on January 14th, 2022. SportsCenter is brought to you by O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts Loaner Tool Program has more than 80 specialty loaner tools available to help you with your next repair. Refundable deposit required. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
With the 3rd pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Scoot Henderson.
I just continue to work. I just put my head down and work and control what I can. And that's how hard I work, and that's me every day getting better with my body and my mind.
Yeah, draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still?
Keyshawn J. Willimax, ESPN Radio.
You know what the worst is? Every time Johnny Manziel hears a song, he's like, "Oh, that's so dope." Rick said my name, and he says, 5 years from today, I'm the man still. Johnny's like,
lies, and more
not
lies.
the man still.
By the way,
draft day, Johnny Manziel. Bam.
Manziel That's when I thought, oh man, wait a minute, the Cowboys might be starting to get really good actually, because Jerry Jones had to be looking at Manziel and go, oh yeah,
Texas
and they're
A&M.
like, no, we're just going to take the best offensive lineman. I was like, damn, Cowboys are smartening up. So the Trailblazers do take Scoot Henderson, who fell to 3. There was some question in recent days as to whether he or Miller would go who would go 2, who would go 3, but in the end, it wound up the way people assumed it would go, for weeks and weeks. Scoot Henderson 3 overall, and 2 the Portland Trailblazers. Now, it seems to me at this point, Jay, it's pretty cut and dried for Portland. Either they believe Scoot Henderson is a potential franchise player, right?
Cut and dried, huh? Cut and dried? Or
Yeah.
cut and dry?
Cut and dried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Got it.
Yeah, IED.
Yeah, got it.
So either they believe he is really going to be a franchise player, right? And that the shooting will come along and all that stuff, and they can build around him. And if that's the case, then you move Dame now. It's the right thing to do for your organization and for Dame. Or you believe that, don't know about the shooting, and we can get a lot for him. Lillard deserves to be surrounded. We're not going to break in these young players. We're going to go get him an all-star. And you go do that and try to win a championship. Seems to me that it's either or. I don't see them not making, you're not going to do both.
Well, Portland tried last night. I mean, they tried to package Anthony Simon and the 3rd pick, which was going to be Scoot Henderson, to Brooklyn for Mikal Bridges, and Brooklyn turned down the deal, right? They turned down the deal. So when you're making an attempt like that, how do you not take Scoot Henderson? And it just seems like Joe Cronin and company, if you can't find a package of those 2 players for a high-level caliber player and draft collateral, then go towards a rebuild and just do look, I can't tell you last night, sitting there watching the draft, I'm also all over Twitter's timeline, like wondering if Dame is going to post some picture. Like, I know he's over in France right now. I know he's on vacation with his family. The entire league is paying attention to this gap of time that between the draft and the beginning of free agency, you have teams and GMs that are putting together the best construction of pieces of assets to attack and try to get Dame Lillard. Like, that's where everybody's at, because it's a matter of time. Like, what's going to happen? Like, something is going to break. Either you're going to go towards a rebuild, or you're going to put together a package of assets to try to get another high-level caliber player to entice Dame to stay. But I don't know what player is out there that you can make a move for that another team is willing to let you poach to keep Dame in Portland.
Looking at their roster now, do you think that, they do have some interesting young pieces in Portland, but the question is, like, none of them really look like franchise players. The funny thing is, though, they all do certain things at a really high level. Either this guy's really athletic, or, that's just what a lot of teams are looking for. If you trade Lillard, do you get enough back, given this core? And do you believe in Scoot Henderson's future enough that you think that could eventually build to a champion?
Who do you think has more value, Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal?
Damian Lillard.
Okay. Yeah. And Bradley Beal had what? A no trade clause.
Yeah, and a big contract.
And a big contract. And look what Washington, well, Dame has a big contract too, but
he missed a lot of games recently.
Look what Washington got for Bradley Beal. Okay. And we talked about last year, Rudy Gobert and company. Like, look at those deals that were last year. I think Dame could land you a massive deal. Now, granted, you're trying to do the right move by Dame by giving him, 3 or 4 teams that he can choose from by saying, hey, this is where I would like to be. But you're telling me, like, Brooklyn wouldn't give up a ton of assets for Damian? You would get an unprecedented type of deal.
Do you think Lillard and Bridges are enough as the 2 best players on your team that surrounded with the right pieces, they can win a championship?
I think you're moving towards that. I'm not saying it's going to lend you. It doesn't put you in pole position right away as it would with Miami. But
that's what I'm saying from Lillard's point of view. I guess you could argue.
But it's also about what the plan is, right? So it's for Dame. Like, for me, if I were Dame, I wouldn't be just saying, like, I need to be traded to a contender. Like, a contender could be, hey, if I do say, here are the 3 teams, and you do extract the most value that you give in return, but you still leave your window open to make other moves, and there is a strategy in place to pick up 2 or 3 additional pieces, like maybe one other star and some great fit role pieces. Like if Sean Marks has a strategy like that, I need to hear what that strategy is.
Let's look at it from Lillard's point of view for a second. If from Lillard's point of view, it seems to me that what it comes down to is this. Am I better off simply improving my chances to win a championship, even knowing that I didn't give myself a top 3 chance, let's say, in the league, but I've improved it. I'm better off in Brooklyn with Mikal Bridges and whomever else than I am in Portland right now. Is that improvement in his odds of winning a championship? In other words, it's not Miami where you go, ooh, I bet you we chip up if I go there. But it's better than Portland. Is that worth spending the equity you have as a franchise player who was loyal to the franchise, who has this whole thing built up around him, around that? Like, once you shoot your shot, you got to hit it if you're Lillard, it seems to me. I don't know that it's worth it simply to give myself a slightly better chance somewhere else.
Let me ask you this, and it just came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you were Dame and you're watching a guy like Giannis play, and you're watching Chris Middleton opt out of his deal, and you're watching Drew Holiday, right, and Brook Lopez, who's probably is going to be a restricted free agent, right? Would you want to go play in Milwaukee with Giannis?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
I would.
Hey, Milwaukee. Yep. Like, it's going to be an arms race. You're going to have teams. Would you want to go play in Philadelphia?
Yep.
Like, if Philly's worried so much about James Harden and some assets, like, are you not willing, if you're Philadelphia and Daryl Morey, to say, I'm going to put Joel Embiid and Dame Lillard together in the East? Like, you're telling me them in the East, you're looking at Boston making moves with Kristaps Porzingis. Like, I'm looking at Philly saying, I want to play with Joel Embiid, or I want to play with the Giannis, or I want to play in my, like, I'm looking at these teams right here, the top teams in the East. You all need me.
Yeah.
You need me.
I think the best fit is Miami, but Philly also is a good fit. It seems to me, based on that logic, that it's going to be a minute then, because a team like Philly needs to move Tobias Harris first, right? See what you can get for him. Can you clear the space? Can you get some assets? For teams to get their ducks in a row, if Lillard is available, it may take some time.
Maybe you can use Tobias Harris in the trade package with picks and assets. Maybe like a guy like Maxey. You willing to give up on Maxey and Tobias Harris and some picks for Dame? I would. Alan Gates, you're a Philly fan. Would you
Maxey.
give up?
I'd like to hang on to
I like
Maxey.
Maxey too, but I like Dame more.
Yeah, but Maxey's like 10 years younger.
Okay. Alan Yates, would you give up Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and picks for Dame?
No, I'm keeping Tyrese Maxey.
Okay. All right.
Maxey you want to keep.
right.
They got rid of Thibault. By the way, to Portland, right? I'm keeping Maxey.
Okay.
Is it time for the Bulls to blow it all up and start over again? Keyshawn, J. Willimax, ESPN Radio.
Greeny. It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time. One of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
Number one, you fire him. Number two, you fire him for cause. You should have done that after he went on a Cincinnati radio station and said deplorable, awful, terrible things. But you didn't do that. And now a coach that has a driver on his contract that will pick him up anywhere, or is frankly the head coach of a basketball team that he can call any of the assistants and say, hey, I'm drunk, I can't drive. Please, somebody in these cities, you have every single possible way. If you stand up in front of a locker room and you say, never embarrass my school, and then you do that, you embarrassed them when you talked on the mic. You embarrassed yourself, your family, and your school when you got behind the wheel with triple the legal limit in your system and decided you should drive. You don't get to resign. You don't get to decide in that moment that you're not going to be a part of a school. A school has an obligation to fire your ass and do it quickly and loudly and then go after cause so they don't pay you another dime.
Fitz and Harry. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
June in Omaha is a celebration of college baseball.
Finally ready to go. The College World Series in Omaha.
From the plays that leave you in awe.
Are you kidding me?
To the moments that define a season.
To the wall and go!
Watch all the tradition and high-stakes action from Omaha. The Men's College World Series, presented by Capital One, continues on the networks of ESPN. Greeny.
It's the greatest postseason any player ever had. It does not make him the greatest center of all time. One of the elements of becoming an all-time great player is doing it for a long time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
If you thinking, oh, well, we really don't have a chance, when you walking into that building, you're not a real fan, man. You're not crying in the end. You're not feeling that pain.
Wake up and get up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Hi there, Keyshawn. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Robin?
I just feel bad for you Lakers fans. You guys are in the 5 stages of grid.
I liked you for a minute when you first called in.
G, J, and Max. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Friday on Canty and Carlin, all the reaction from the NBA draft, all the trades as well. And now, how does it all affect free agency beginning next week? It's Friday, Canty and Carlin, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Do you ever wish that you could get closer to the world of sports? Well, with the ESPN app, you're one app and one tap away from the action. You can get live scores and stats for your NBA team. Or follow your favorite golfer as she launches off the tee. You even get 24/7 coverage of the biggest NFL plays. So what are you waiting? Oh, sorry, I got carried away. So what are you waiting for? Download the ESPN app and get closer than ever.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio. David Kaplan, co-host of Cap and J. Hood on ESPN 1000 with us now. Morning, Cap.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You can, of course, listen to Cap and J. Hood weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. Central
Guys there?
Time on ESPN.
Yeah, we can hear you,
1000.
Cap.
Yeah, we got you. Cap, you got us?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good, good.